Hey, this is Hannah. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we talk about tech, career, adulthood, and random things about myself. In today's video, I want to talk about the topic around unit tests in building software. The reason I want to talk about this topic is recently I just changed a new team and I noticed a lot of things has been done differently from my past teams. And it really triggers a lot of my thinkings and reflection on myself of why I chose to do something in a certain way in the past. And really, what is my perspective, my stand on those things? One thing that triggers me the most is writing unit tests. As you know, as a job, as a software engineer, it's really about designing, coding, and writing tests. Testing has played a very important role in this job. But why? Why do we need tests? And can tests really help us find bugs? And how much test coverage is enough? So in today's video, I want to share my perspective, my philosophy related to writing unit tests in building software. Reflecting on my past experience, I don't think the purpose of writing unit tests is for finding bugs. When there is an assumption I have made about certain component, it's very likely the same assumption will be made in the actual code and writing tests. But I do think writing unit tests can help me better design and scope my component. There is a software development concept called test-driven development, or TDD. The core of the concept is about really take advantage of setting up the unit test upfront and use that as a guideline for development. When you have the unit test set up, it really forces you to think about the component as a black box. You think about the input and output that the black box can produce. You think about all the conditions. You think about the scope of the component and what are the parameters should they take, and does it really make sense? It's a very useful concept and I believe a lot of people follow it out there. But I don't think we should take that as a rule of thumb. I think it really depends on the personal coding style to choose if you want to adapt it or not. For example, personally, I do like to write my unit tests upfront, but all I do is defining my test name. I have a very particular way of constructing my test name. It is composed by the target test name, underscore, condition, underscore, the expected outcome. And that's all I do before I jump into the actual code. And I will continue to finish the rest of the unit test after I finish the code. And I find it works great for me. Another benefit of writing unit tests is it explains the logic. I'm not sure how many of you had a similar experience. There are some times when I went to the code, it's just so complicated. What I saw is a giant big class, barely readable. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But when I took a look at the unit tests, it clears things up. If you need to make small changes to the component, you can also use the unit test as a validator. So having good unit tests is very helpful in a collaborative workspace. So far, we've talked about writing unit tests brings benefit, but how much coverage is enough? It's a tricky question. I have been in the team that aim for 100% code coverage, which means we aim to cover every lines of the code in every logic branch. If there are two conditions in the if statement, we will cover them both. On the other hand, I've also been in the teams that are more free on testing. So I think the key indicator here is, will writing less tests make your system shitty? In one of the team, writing tests hasn't really been the priority, and the system is really bad, the bad component, bad design, coupling issues everywhere, and you just don't know if the code works. And it's such a headache to work on those projects. On the other hand, I've also been in a team that with good code, but less testing. So I think the call here is, are you confident that everyone in your team knows what they're doing and is aligned with the system standard? I don't think aiming for 100% code coverage is the best way to ensure the confidence. It can introduce a lot more work and doesn't really bring in benefit. So at the end of the day, it's really an art of making a balance here. I'd like to conclude today's video with a confession from Dave Thomas, who is a very experienced programmer, and he's an author of the book Pragmatic Programmer. In his book, he has this little confession. He has been coding for 45 years and written automated testing for his entire career. And one day he decided to stop writing tests for a couple months and see what it did to his code. And surprisingly, the answer is not a lot. And he spent some time to find out why. He believed the answer is most of the benefit of testing comes from thinking about the tests and their benefit on the code. After doing for so long, he could just do that thinking without actually writing the tests. So I think it's a very inspiring experiment. Oftentimes, we just get very comfortable of doing something, and that's also a good chance for us to really do some critical thinking and challenge ourselves. Alright, that's all I have for you in today's video. Comment below if you have any thoughts you want to share with us. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!